Yo, yo, we are hot. Hot mic. It's Critical Mess. It's episode 19. This is a podcast where some friends in the ad business rap about movies that critics and audiences don't agree on. I am Nick Honeywell. I'm here with my dudes, Griswold, Brian McCullough, and producer Ben is here tonight. Say what's up, people.
Hey, this is Brian McCullough, and I forgot to think of something.
What's up, everybody? Chris here. It's great.
Producer Ben.
I spent all my effort coming on my actual notes for the movie, so it was a good thing.
All right.
Better show.
We're off to a good start. Okay. So here's what we do. We do an icebreaker. That's how we get this show started. So we got a fun icebreaker tonight, a simple icebreaker, one proposed to us by one Brian McCullough, and we thank him for it. Here's the question. What is your favorite movie plot twist of all time? And I know we've all had a little bit of time to think about this one, a little prep work. So whoever wants to take it, take it.
Well, I'm just going to say, I mean, it almost has to be a David Fincher movie because, like, how many amazing plot twists does he have? And I know they can kind of seem somewhat gimmicky, but I don't think he uses them in a gimmicky way. I'll say, for a long time in my life, it was The Game, just because, I mean, it just blew my mind. I don't know if that holds up as well as I thought it would as an adult. So I'm going to change it to another Fincher film. I'm going to go Seven. The What's in the Box.
Classic.
What's in the box?
Great choice.
Yeah, indeed. I agree. Chris?
I'm going to go with a somewhat unknown movie, the 2010 Buried with Ryan Reynolds. Have you guys seen this?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So I thought that was a very underrated movie for that twist ending and all the things that went into that. And it was very simple. I think it was under 90 minutes. I think it was like 110 or 120
How do you make it
minutes.
longer than that?
Yeah, I don't think you can. Yeah, absolutely not. But loved that.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was a very simple and very smart movie.
Yeah.
I am going with, the first thing that came to me was The Departed. I mean, DiCaprio just getting blasted in the elevator. I mean, my jaw hit the floor on that. It really did. I did not see that coming.
It still shocks me when I rewatch it.
Yeah. I mean, just the protagonist just summarily executed like that. You don't see it often. So,
honorable mention for me, The Usual Suspects. That was the OG.
It is. I mean,
me.
yeah, of course. You know.
But I didn't want to say it because, like, of course, it's almost like the given. And then I'd be remiss if I didn't say The Matrix. Amazing plot twist right in the middle. So,
oh boy,
honorable mentions. I got to say it every episode.
Fucking Matrix.
Okay.
Early in the episode.
Yeah, what do we get about 3 minutes in here?
I got plenty more coming.
Yeah, exactly.
Plenty more loaded up.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to spoil the movie we're talking about here tonight, which is a film from the year 2002. It's keeping with the spirit of our horror month. It stars Mila Jovovich, Michelle Rodriguez, Eric Mabius, James Purefoy, Martin Cruz, and Colin Salmon.
I know one of those names.
Is it? Yeah, I know two of those names. I will say, though, that Colin Salmon, I'm just going to call him Colin Salmon. He was like the team leader at the start of this movie that I haven't even said what we're talking about, which is Resident Evil from 2002. Man, he had now speaking of dulcet, he had some dulcet pipes. That guy needs more voiceover work. And I know I've heard him in stuff because that was a magnificent tone.
Yeah.
For Mr. Salmon.
And his name was One, right? Is that what his character name? Mm-hmm. He was like the lead. All their names were just one word, and they said him very quickly.
Like the number one?
Yeah.
His name was One?
Yeah.
I think he had an actual name.
No, he had a name.
Did he have a name?
I don't remember what it was off the top of my head.
You're talking about the black guy, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, I saw his name.
We digress, though.
We got producer
anyway,
Ben on
sorry about that. That was my fault. But anyways, I just wanted to call out. I was like, damn, that guy should,
incredible.
Amazing pipes. He should sing or something. It was directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. Not to be confused with that other Paul Anderson, Paul Thomas Anderson, of course.
PTA, known around here.
Yeah, that we all know and generally love. This movie, the price tag, $33 million. What did it make? $103 million. If you do a little bit of basic math, carry the one, I think you'll find out that made a fair bit of money. So successful film. So a super quick refresher about the criteria we talk about here on Critical Mess, or the criteria for the movies we talk about. Got to be fresh with audiences and rotten with critics, or vice versa on Rotten Tomatoes. And the disparity between the two groups needs to be at least 20% or so. So this movie, 35% with critics, 67% with audiences. So we've got, more than a 30% gap on this one. I just want to point out, we talked about Final Destination in our last episode, and we're only 1% different on both of those numbers.
Crazy.
And this is and only 2 numbers different on the year. So I mean,
Wow.
We've got some parallels.
We need to branch out a little bit, I think.
Yeah, maybe it was a rash choice, but we wanted to talk about this movie. So Resident Evil. Also occurred to me, we also just did a video game movie episode, Mario, too.
Yeah.
So please go back and listen to that.
Especially Brian's Corner, where he talks about how you shouldn't make video games into movies.
We had a lot of fun in that episode. Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say, especially the second half. I think it was some of our better
It
work.
was spicy.
Some of our better work. Okay. Speaking of spicy, what are our sponsors tonight? We are sponsored by Pacifico Clara in a can, which I'm a big, big fan of. That was a great choice to go can over bottle. We are also sponsored by some shit I can't read.
Johnny Drum.
Johnny Drum. It's a classy bottle, but I will say, Johnny, not very legible at 5 feet. So
You're not even legible as I hold it up right up to my face right
yeah,
now.
let's work on that typography. We
Johnny
all work in
Drum.
advertising, so Johnny,
Private stock.
Give us a call.
Kentucky bourbon straight whiskey.
yeah. Now that's not to demean the product, which is A+ exceptional.
That just means they need to hire us.
It just means they need a little bit of work on that logo, or maybe it's meant because you're drinking and it kind of makes you think you're already drunk. I don't know. Anyways, Johnny, good shit. We're also sponsored by a triple sponsor tonight, Blade and Bow. That sounds like a restaurant that serves like some sort of shitty lamb dish.
It sounds like part of like the
On a bed of
salamander.
rice.
Sorry. Yeah. Welcome to the Blade and Bow. Anyway.
Our specials tonight are.
Anyway, but no, I meant what I meant to say was Blade and Bow is a fine whiskey product. We're excited to have it, and boy, that was a lot of sponsors tonight. So, thank you to all of you. Okay, let's get into it here, gentlemen. First time we saw this movie, Resident Evil from 2002, and to be clear, there's a billion sequels to this movie, so we are talking about 2002 OG Resident Evil film. When did we see it, guys?
2002. Saw it in theater, so I was probably sophomore in high school. So, yep, definitely fresh in my mind in high school days.
How many, how often since?
I've probably seen it a couple times.
Okay.
First in theaters, and maybe once again a year or two later. So,
I watched it yesterday for the first time and realized I watched the wrong version of it. And so I watched it today for the first time again.
plot twist. Tell us all about it.
So let me tell you guys real quick. PSA for the listener out there. The streaming landscape is just fucked up. It's so complicated. It's so convoluted to try to go. Some things you can't rent at all. Some things you have to rent from a certain service. So, I go to YouTube to rent it, and it's like, oh, you can rent it for $3.99 or whatever, or you can start a 7-day free trial with AMC Plus and watch it for free. So, of course, I did that. Watched an hour and 24-minute movie. I later felt that it didn't feel right. It felt like there was things missing, and there were like these commercial breaks that weren't there. It would just fade out and fade back in, and I'm like, what? So then I go and I look, and the movie runtime is actually an hour and 40-some minutes. So I'm like, I missed 15-plus minutes of this movie. So then I go to Amazon Prime, AMC Plus, and I get the full version of the movie. So anybody out there who's trying to rent Resident Evil and watch along with us, do not rent it using the AMC Plus subscription on YouTube. Go anywhere else.
Streaming is a
It was
true
basically
mess.
the TV version on YouTube.
So
no warning
The
whatsoever.
second, I'm sorry, but the second I would have saw it fade to black and fade back, I would have been like, oh, it's commercial break. I got to get, there's got to be something wrong here.
Unfortunately, the rest of the movie wasn't so much higher of quality to where it really took me out of it too much. It just felt a little, because the editing, this movie needed some editing help, so I just thought, that is bad editing.
Just fade to black and fade back in.
Yeah, well, it's weird. So anyway, long diatribe there. I'm just trying to help you out, people. It's so stupid. Watch the real version. It's way better because I rated this a 0.5 star out of 5 on Letterboxd yesterday, and then watched it again today and bumped that way up. And all the F-bombs were gone. Some of the nudity, not all the nudity was gone. So yeah.
I'm sorry to hear about that.
What world do we live in?
Sounds like you got a Walmart version of it.
I did.
Yeah.
Walmart bin. It was like a Walmart censored version.
Yeah, there's nothing free in life, Brian.
Well, actually, I watched it free on Amazon Prime. I just had to watch it again.
So did I.
Well, you're technically paying for Amazon Prime.
Ah, shit. And the internet. Fuck.
Yeah.
You're actually paying a lot more.
There's nothing free. So
Anyway.
twice for me. 1.5 times for me.
I also saw it in 2002. This one is like, it might have the exact same answer as I had with Final Destination. I saw it in 2002, but I didn't see it in the theater. Or 2003 maybe. I rented it probably at Blockbuster. And
R.I.P.
Yeah. And saw it that way. And then I'm sure I saw it at least all the way through at least one other time, but I feel like 2 other times. And then bits and pieces here and there for whatever reason. So, and then last night. So I've seen it at least a few times. So let's rate it, guys. Let's rate it. What do we think of this movie? Out of 100, hit me.
So after the first time I saw it, I was prepared to give it like a 7. Like I was actually laying in bed last night thinking, what's the funniest number I can give this terrible piece of shit? And I was thinking, what number sounds the funniest? And I was like, 8 sounds funny, 12 sounds funny, but having watched it a second time, 44 out of 100.
Ooh, that's a big jump.
A huge jump, and I guess that speaks to how high quality I value editing and pacing.
Yeah,
sure.
Unbeknownst to me.
Yeah, I actually rated this pretty high. I remember enjoying this in high school, and I mean, obviously, I would being in high school and liking most action R-rated movie I snuck into. But I'm giving it an 83.
Wow.
Yeah, pushing it high for this one.
Wow.
I just really enjoyed
You really
it.
kept your cards close to your chest. Good job, man. I had no idea that
really
was
enjoyed
coming.
this
Yeah.
one.
I just enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, we'll get into it.
Yeah. I also liked it. I would say definitely liked it. Didn't love it. I'm giving it a 67. So, yeah, I had a good time, but I had some problems. I had some issues. All right, you're listening to Critical Mess. I'm here with Brian, Grizz, Ben. We got some sponsors tonight. So many sponsors. Pacifico, Blade and Bow, and Johnny something I can't read.
Drum.
Drink up.
John, I know, we're never going to get a real sponsor, are we?
Yeah, let's just keep going,
Can't
man.
even
We've got the rest of our lives.
Can't even pronounce the damn sponsor.
We'll get ad reads different.
We've got
Yeah.
you guys. We've got 50 more years of doing this.
We do have a writer working for us who's willing to write those ad reads.
Yep.
So, and who will make them hilarious. I hear he's a really good writer.
Yeah.
So,
and
anyway.
we'll immediately sell out.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
All
So-
shelves gone.
Yeah.
Okay. So why are we even talking about this movie? It's because critics and audiences don't agree on it. So why do they not agree on this movie? I'd like to get into that.
Well, let's read the critics' consensus. Like other video game adaptations, Resident Evil is loud, violent, formulaic, and cheesy. I mean,
I don't agree with that.
I don't agree with that either. I don't think it's cheesy.
I don't think it's formulaic either.
I don't even really think it's that loud, to be honest. I mean, it's not quiet, but it's not like Bad Boys 2, where it's just like start to finish.
Yeah, terrible review.
So the consensus is poorly written. Some of these reviews, I've got 5 here. First, William Thomas from Empire Magazine. Game fans, as in the Resident Evil game, game fans will be disappointed. Zombie fans will be disappointed. Paul Anderson's fan will be disappointed. Is William intentionally trolling Anderson, or is that a legit
I was about to say, did he steal our fan joke?
I think so.
That's our joke.
I double-checked. That's how it's written. Paul Anderson's fan will be disappointed. I hope that's a typo, but I think that's just a genius roast. What do you guys think? It's kind of savage.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a professional writer, I have to assume that was intentional.
What do you guys think, though? Did you guys play the game? And is it? Are you disappointed as a game player?
You know what? I am actually really embarrassed to admit this, but I have never played through Resident Evil 1. I've played through 2, 3, 4,
Holy shit.
and that's it.
Have you played any of 1?
I've played a little. Yes, I played a little bit of
What was
1.
it?
I've
What-
walked around
what
the mansion and
system?
stuff a little bit, but I never have played through it.
PlayStation.
Oh,
Yeah, the PlayStation 1. It was an early
Okay.
PlayStation 1 game, and it was a huge hit.
This and Silent Hill were the 2 games I
Yeah.
remember thinking, I wish I had a PlayStation, because all my friends at school were talking about Resident Evil and Silent Hill, and I'm over here with a 64 playing Mario, which in hindsight's a way better game, but still. Yeah, so you're familiar with the game and the source material to a certain extent.
Yeah. Pretty familiar.
Chris, have you?
Never played the game,
Okay.
and I think that's what helped me just enjoy the movie for what it is, rather than sit there and expect something. And I think that's like we were talking about the video game adaptation curse that is on every movie that game that turns to movie is I don't give a shit. If you can make it a good movie or an entertaining movie, at least you can do whatever the fuck you want with it. Loosely base it off of a book, a script, a play, a video game. You're going to do your own creative liberties. You don't have to make it to a T, or else people would just go play the game.
See, I guess I was hoping at least one of us would be able to respond to that, because to me, when I watched the movie, I just assumed it was like a carbon copy of the game, because I feel like it felt like that. It felt like, oh, I bet I can see that being a cutscene, and I can see that set and the dining room B and the mansion. I can see all these things are probably in the game, and they've got this game fans that they've got to please, and so they're kind of hamstrung creatively. Maybe that's not the case.
I know. That is too bad. I don't know what, that's such a gap in my gaming that I haven't played through Resident Evil 1. But the game does start in the house, and you do walk around to just like this starts. And the other thing I will say is the movie ends right how Resident Evil 2 starts, more or less.
Okay.
So that,
and probably lore, probably all the hive and Raccoon City and all that stuff. I'm sure that's probably from the game. But I guess I'm just assuming maybe the dialogue's, the character, because there's some people in here saying the characters weren't even from the game, and I'm sitting here assuming that they're all just carbon copy 1-to-1.
Yeah, the only thing
I don't know.
A couple of the reviews I read were talking about, and one other article kind of went more into depth of this. This was more of a prequel to the game rather than an adaptation of a prequel to the game rather than a beat for beat game remake.
Well, then you know what? I'm going to abstain from making those judgments because we don't have somebody here who knows, and so we're all kind of ignorant, I guess. But anyway, that's what I guess William's saying. You'll be disappointed. And then I guess just real quick, zombie movie fans, are you disappointed as a zombie movie fan?
not really.
not
I
at
thought
all.
the zombies were pretty good. I could have used a little more.
Yeah.
It takes a while to get to them.
It was a little, it was a long time, but also like the difference between some were aggressive and some were like your typical zombie. I wish they were just consistent with that.
And this movie was kind of right on the. I mean, I know there's oodles of zombie movies before this, but this was right at the beginning of the golden era for zombie stuff.
Yeah.
Like Walking Dead came out after this, and a lot of our zombie movies that we know
The
today.
Dawn of the Dead remake was right around there.
Yeah, it came out after that. I think 2004 was the Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah, the Zack
remake.
Snyder one.
Yep. Richard Harrington, Washington Post. It all looks and plays like a $40 million version of a game you're more likely to enjoy on a computer. My thought on that was, I'm picking up your sarcasm, Richard.
Yeah.
You dick.
Yeah.
You should. I'm laying it on you pretty
Dick.
thick.
I know. You play it on PlayStation, dick. Not the computer. Fuck you.
Yeah, so that was a little bit of sarcastic. Roger Ebert, Chicago Sun-Times. The movie is Dawn of the Dead crossed with John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars, with zombies not as ghoulish as the first and trains not as big as the second. What is Ghosts of Mars?
Oh man.
Oh, the John Carpenter movie?
yeah, John Carpenter.
I think
Ghost of Mars.
You only know it's John Carpenter because I just said John Carpenter's
No,
Ghosts of Mars.
It's literally the whole movie. It's just people running through tunnels in a space base.
And there's trains.
I think there are some trains. It's like
Trains.
it is such a bad movie. It's an unbelievable.
It's-
I've watched all of John Carpenter's movies,
Yeah.
and it is probably the worst one.
It is
Okay.
famously known as just a terrible shit movie, and you should definitely check it out.
Okay.
I don't even think it's worth watching. Honestly, it's so
just let 'em
bad.
watch it. Shh.
Like
I love John Carpenter, so
it's
They have a John Carpenter collection, and it's worth going through his collection.
yeah. I'm kind of a completionist too, so I'd
Ooh.
probably watch it and hate it. Okay, two more. Lauren King, Loren, Boston Globe. A video game. Okay, you guys, I'm going to read this, and I'm going to read this verbatim. All right. A video game movie that substitutes shrieking decibel levels for a coherent plot and any resemblance in originality.
how did you spell that fourth word?
What's a video game movie? CUM. What's a video game movie? What is that? What the fuck is Lauren talking about?
That's
Explicit, by the way, we're going to mark this, Grizz, now that we've said that word twice. Am I in the, you guys all in on the joke? Like, what does that mean?
I nailed it.
Okay, now we can.
Oh, sorry, I missed it.
I'm just getting blank stares. Like, no one knows what that is either? Okay, good.
No, I
Okay.
don't.
All right.
No.
That's not like a subgenre?
No,
All right.
someone trying to get clever and
We'll just leave Lauren
didn't work.
King alone. Finally, John Monaghan, Detroit Free Press. Even in the dubious genre of movies based on video games, Resident Evil is an abomination. Is John right? Is this in the lower tier of video game movies?
No, fuck no.
No, absolutely not.
I feel like when we went through the video game movies in the Super Mario Bros. Episode, Resident Evil was highlighted as one of the better ones in this group.
Yeah.
It was, and it is.
Okay, so John's wrong.
Sorry about you, John.
So critics, generally they're kind of writing this off a little bit. They're kind of just going, this is not. They're comparing it to other movies. This is not as good as, or
Your
they're,
favorite.
or they're going. Yeah. No, I've got a mix. What I think this is a mix between, but no, I think that's the consensus. Is it's just mostly, they're just not. I don't think they're taking the movie seriously. It doesn't strike me, and I read a bunch more than just those 5, but to me that's the through line is that they're just like it's a silly movie.
It
for
never had a
kids.
chance to begin with.
Yeah, they didn't give it a fair shake, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.
So,
well, what did the audiences have to say?
well, Lord B,
I like him already.
best zombie movie ever made with a huge dose of James Bond. 5 out of 5.
What?
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, I still like him a lot. Yeah. Cool. I don't.
Agree.
He's seeing
Agree.
something we're not.
Yeah, I'm not
Wow.
totally tracking, but yeah, I'll ride with that.
Sure.
Oolong S. Action was done well, but I hated how there was no characters from the game in this film. The plot felt rushed, and I wish they did it differently than doing it the way they did. Though I give this film credit for the visuals, etc., I believe that this film had potential, but they blew it. But it's not an awful film. 3 out of 5. And I guess that I wanted to bring this up, but I think it's kind of a moot point now. My question there was, were there no characters from the game in this movie?
There's a cop in the game is one of the characters.
Is
one
Mia
of the main
Jovovich?
characters.
Is Mia Jovovich Alice? She's in the game, right? The main
I don't
character?
know. At the start, there's a male and female cop.
Okay.
Are the two main characters? I do believe. I don't know if she ends up being a character or not.
So
Like
does the game?
yeah,
I don't know anything about it, but does the game you played 2, 3, 4? So does it start in Raccoon City, or does it start in the Hive, or does it start in the house? Where does the game kind of naturally progress?
2 is in Raccoon City.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I mostly know about is like the
Yeah, like
people.
in the
Most of the
city.
games go into Raccoon City itself.
I think 1 is mostly in that mansion, but once again, I don't know. I'm talking out of
Okay.
school. I'm going to play it.
You know
I'm
what?
Gonna, you
So
know what?
we'll just leave
I'm
that.
just going to play it, and we'll find out.
Oolong S, okay, I trust you. Anonymous in December 30th of 2022. My favorite movie of all time. 5 out of 5.
Wow.
My thought there was, I wonder what his least favorite movie of all time is.
Yeah.
What do we think
Matrix.
It could also be the only movie he's ever seen.
it would be? I was going to make a joke like that, but he's 7.
Yeah.
No. Another anonymous, August 1st. Ages 17 and older. 8 exclamation marks. Worth about 1 hour and 40 minutes. 20 exclamation marks. 5 out of 5. So are they saying they rate movies based on how much of the movie's runtime it earns? And is this person a genius or is this nonsense?
I do like that it's a crisp, like 130, like or whatever.
Yeah. Oh, I love that about this.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
nice.
I just thought that was interesting. It's worth about an hour and 40.
It's worth about an
I think
hour.
that's a
and
fair way to
40.
say it.
Okay.
I might start describing movies that way.
Yeah.
Like The Irishman was worth about 2.5 hours,
Yeah,
but
it's
not
worth,
the 3.
it's just
Yeah.
worth your time.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's
Ah,
worth the
that's true.
time.
The time.
Yeah.
Another anonymous in July 22nd of 2022. Absolutely loved it. Loads of action. Can't wait for season 2. Went off on a really good cliffhanger. Got it in my favorites. 5 out of 5. Season 2?
Well, there was recently a TV show that came out called Raccoon City.
All right.
So
Shit.
there might be some mixed
I get it.
reviews, sadly.
You're right. Another
We'll
anonymous.
cut that out.
June
Internet.
18th, 2022.
No, we won't.
This one, I don't know what happened in June 18th, 2022, but this anonymous user, all caps. I don't understand what happened in this film, and Augusto would not explain it to me. 5 stars. 0.5 out of 5.
What?
Was he talking? What was he talking about?
Augusto?
Fucking classic Augusto.
Wow.
Not explaining things to his girlfriend.
Point,
Boyfriend?
0.5?
0.5.
What? Why was Augusto? Who's Augusto?
Was his phone left on like speak and text, and it just kind of just shot out there?
Through a series of misclicks.
Yeah, exactly. Through a massive amount of misclicks to the app.
I accidentally butt reviewed Apocalypse.
I don't know, but all I know is Augusto. You better pony up next time. Aiden L. Those residents were evil. 3 out of 5. We have our perennial wannabe film critic trying to be clever, trying to get kind of selected by the look what he wrote. Let's bring him on board.
Keep working on it, bud.
Boston Chronicle. Mike J. I'm not even going to read this one because I have no idea what it means. I was going to read it, but we've already had too much gibberish, and this one's pure gibberish. And I was curious if you guys knew if it was a reference to the game, but I think that ship has sailed. Anonymous, August 26th, 2020. Quite a funny horror movie. The women look pretty. 5 out of 5. My thoughts were, funny?
It was a laugh riot.
Funny.
Yeah,
Just funny.
Our silence shows the confusion in all of our brains right now.
Does he mean strange?
I mean, it could be ironically funny in some ways, for sure.
And the women, I mean, most of the women in this movie were like splattering blood and like dying. One woman looked pretty.
Or they were a zombie.
I don't know. I guess we don't need to really dig into these too much, but I mean, they're on the internet, guys. And then Anonymous, March 24th. Probably a cool action zombie movie. 5 out of 5. Probably.
Probably.
I don't know.
I didn't watch it.
He's got a problem with commitment.
Last one's going to segue us into talking about this movie. Paul R. Critics are like Jon Snow. They know nothing. This movie captured the atmosphere of the games and brought something original to the table, all while giving Mia J. the chance to show off. Is it Mila or Mia?
Mia.
Or
wait, no, Mila Jovovich.
Mila. She's from Ukraine. Mila J. the chance to show off her super badass skills and one boob. What's not to like? I'll tell you what, Michelle Rodriguez, who definitely can't act and has the weird-looking face all the time. 3.5 out of 5. So I almost wrote Paul off when I'm reading his first sentence. I'm like, critics, what are you talking about? Okay, what? But dude won me over with the Michelle Rodriguez stuff. So I'm a Paul R. fan. Bravo, Paul.
How would you describe that constant expression on Michelle Rodriguez's face in 3 words or less?
Genetic eye condition.
Grizz?
That's pretty good. Confused constipation? I have no idea.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You got one more word, too.
I don't even have another word. She doesn't deserve another word. The acting was so bad by her, but I don't know.
I think
what do you got, word man? What do you got?
This is pretty much her in every
RBF.
Yeah.
No, you guys, I'm serious. She can't. She can't look down. She has a genetic problem. She cannot look down. So if she wants to like talk to you, she's got to tilt her head and look at you angrily. That's how she looks at everyone in this movie. Oh man.
All right. What's your 3?
I smelled a fart. I don't know. That seems
great
like
director note from her. Yeah.
She always looks like some stanks.
So to sum up the audience, I'd say, obviously I read some of the more funny ones there, but they were, serious reactions. Not all 5 out of 5. Lots of 3s.
Yeah,
2,
big mix.
And obviously the movie was at 60-something, so it's not like it was unanimously loved. But I'd say that the audience was just it was the built-in zombie horror action crowd, and a lot of people who, well, maybe not so many people who just loved the game, because some of the derision there was it wasn't like the game. So I'd say it was kind of a mixed bag with the audience this time.
Yeah, well,
critical mess.
Yeah, critical mess. It is a big old mess.
It is a critical mess.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, so we haven't gotten into a whole lot of what we really liked about this movie yet. I don't know if it's too early to flip the script, but I say let's just do it. Let's just talk about what we did, or Grizz and I will talk about what we didn't like about this movie. And Brian, you tell us what you did like. And I will start with one thing. I excuse me. Assume I'm going to get some agreement on this, but the acting was pretty bad throughout. There was some okay acting and some really bad acting. I think the worst offender was the cop. When he did like his little screaming voice, I just transferred, I'm not in the system yet. He was
way worse than the AMC TV cut, by the way.
Oh, geez.
Oh no, yeah.
Like when
the scenes were different.
When they show the mutant thing on the screen and you see the back of his head looking at it. In the first version I watched, here's his dialogue. What is that? On the second viewing, it was, what the fuck is that? Which came off a lot better.
Sure.
Oh, you can tell they cut.
Just be glad you didn't have to watch what I watched.
Oh,
you know
man,
who that guy looks exactly like, if you know who this is Anthony Jeselnik, the comedian.
Ooh, yeah.
They've got like the same face and haircut. It's like the same.
Boy, he's got
guy.
the flipped up hair, doesn't he?
Man, that haircut.
Turn of the century.
That was quite.
I mean, I think we all can agree that acting in this was outrageously stiff and very simple and very just it just wasn't there. I think their focus was make this a great B movie horror action kind of thriller thing. I don't know. Acting was just all across the board.
I don't know, guys. I've seen worse. I think if you take out
I have too, for sure.
Michelle Rodriguez out of the movie.
If I'm picking Nick, yeah, that's definitely going to be one of them for sure.
What'd you think of Mila?
I thought she was one of the brighter spots.
Yeah, she was definitely the better of all of them.
I like the main guy, the guy who kind of comes. You think he kills himself, but he like comes back. What's his name?
Oh,
I had it written down.
I have it written down too.
Jelko,
Janko,
Calgary. Anyway,
Kaplan.
Samsonite. No.
Kaplan was somebody.
That was Kaplan. It was Kaplan.
Yeah,
Yep.
was that him?
Yeah, I didn't mind him. You know, it could have been worse. Take Michelle Rodriguez out. She was most of the terribleness, but I see where you're coming from. It wasn't anything to write home about.
Yeah. I'll throw out one other thing. Brian, I know you're going to hate this about the movie too. A lot of bullshit jump scares.
There were 6.
Oh gosh, there's got to be more than that.
There were more jump scares than that, but there were 6 completely false jump scares where the thing that scares you is literally nothing scary. There's about 10 legitimate ones that's actually like a zombie or something.
Yeah. Sure.
So there's like 16 jump scares in this movie.
But there's one where it just pans over to the right and there's just a loud noise, and you're like, "What? What are we doing here, people?"
Many unearned.
There were 6.
But the first
false jump
one
scares.
for me was the woman in the tank. I think it was like 20, 25 minutes into the movie.
I counted that as a real one, by the way.
I love that one.
That was a good one.
That was
a good.
great.
No, I'm not like saying jump scares are bad. I'm just saying there were
no,
too
but I'm
many.
just showing that
False jump scares are bad.
Yeah,
objectively.
I generally agree with that. And I feel like if you are going to do that, you do one.
Well, that's what I was going to say. There were 6 jump scares. That's 5 too many.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, I knew you would be all over that.
You know me. You know my heart.
All right, that's a couple of bad things. Grizz, give me some bad stuff about this movie.
I know they tried their hardest. It's 2002. The CG on the main monster,
rough.
It was so rough. It looked worse than a video game, and that's ironic because it's based on a video game. But the biggest thing for me was they showed that the badass, like practical real dogs and like the skinless like dogs running around, and then they showed the actual monster, and they had practical effects for that as well in certain scenes. And it was probably 70-30, 30% CG, 70% practical, I think. And when I like kind of added it up in my head, and I think that was the hardest part for me, was like, why couldn't you have figured that out? Like, just make it practical and then only show it on the CCTV kind of moment for the CG stuff, you know?
Well, you do like they did when they chopped that guy up but with the grid thing.
Yeah.
They intentionally rack focused to Mila in the background so that they could get away with it.
Get away from the CG on that moment. And it was great because like you could see that it was cut. They only just did the blood, and then the eyeball like
the
bled
viscous
white,
fluid
which was
eye.
great. Oh my god, the detail was
that whole hallway scene was
But
really
I think
well done.
they really could have maximized the horror from the suspense, because they kept teasing the beast throughout the movie slowly but surely, and they showed it on a TV, and then they showed it on another TV, and they showed it like kind of the tail of it run through, and then once they started showing full body, you're like, it was only the full body stuff. Everything else was practical, and it looked great. So I wish they would have just went full force into the practical.
You know what came out 5 years before this? Starship Troopers. Think about the bugs in that movie. That's the same kind of CGI we're talking about. Yeah. Bright daylight, you know, these bugs. Those looked so much better than the one creature model in this movie. And that was 5 years before this.
Yeah.
Something
about that late 90s and then the jump into the early 2000s, just they really went heavy into the CG, going full blow into making the monsters or whatever the thing is in the movie full CG. And I think it was just...
It started to become so much cheaper.
It was, I'm sure it was, yeah.
All right, any other script flipping you want to do there, Grizz? Any other thoughts?
That's all I got right now.
Brian, what do you got?
Well, considering I would say I did not love the movie. I didn't hate it. I'm going to say a few things here that I respect. Number one, I respect that this is rated R. They could have easily gone for a PG-13 here and guaranteed another $20 million in box office revenue.
It was going to be one of my slow burn points.
Okay.
A great point.
Yeah. I so respect this being rated
totally
R.
respect the shit out of that.
I really appreciated the cinematography didn't blow me away except for two memorable scenes. The very beginning of the movie where they push in with that music that you see really far away, the person using the machine. I don't know how they did that scene, but it's like a really slow push in with that.
Oh, it was blacked out. It was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole screen was blacked out, and then you saw the center screen, and it went all the way into the box.
And that banger title track was playing, which I love that title track.
Yeah.
Zooms all the way in, right? And then the very end of the movie, sort of as a callback to that, you see Mila standing in the street, and you get a slow pull out.
Yeah,
it shows
let's give props
with
to
the exact same music playing. So
let's give props to the soundtrack. Apparently, Marilyn Manson had a hand in that.
Oh,
from what I read,
that tracks.
Yeah, which is cool.
Sounds like
I didn't love it. I mean, it was appropriate.
Yeah, I thought it was good. It
was okay. It was appropriate. I liked to mention the Matrix King because this came out the same time, same R-rated, same sci-fi.
Are we up to 3 now?
3.
Yeah, I need to get a Matrix sound.
I've got 3 more. I've got 3 more.
Just
you should. So the Matrix had a way better soundtrack. I mean, with Rob Zombie and a bunch of the electronic stuff. I'm just, name another movie that's a contemporary with the same type of soundtrack to this. I think that's a great example. And I'm just saying, I think this was not stellar. It was just very average. But that title track was really good. The hallway security laser beam scene, super good. I think I mentioned that already. I loved how each pass, you're like, oh, he's just going to jump over it. But nope, cuts him right in half.
That was nice.
The chick's head slides down. The thing comes out and it splits into that grid. And you're just like, oh, fuck.
That's an iconic scene. I think I remember that the most about a lot of this. It was, yeah.
I had never seen it, so cool. Good job. Mila was great.
Wait, real quick. Had that been cut from the AMC version?
No, that was in there.
Okay.
That was in there. The violence was in there, but
interesting.
But they couldn't, so the nudity wasn't, and then a lot of the language wasn't. There was a scene in that one where...
strange world we live in.
I know.
You can't see a side boob,
right?
But you can see someone getting eviscerated by a laser.
You saw nipple, but I know, right? It's like how do you choose what you can see? But I know
strange.
That Rain, Michelle Rodriguez, there's a scene right at the beginning, might have been her first line of dialogue, where she yells at the cop guys. She yells right in his ear. She yells, "Blow me," to him, right? In the first version I watched, she yells, like there's like kind of background noise happening, and she yells, but you don't hear anything. So for the whole movie, I thought that she yelled something to him that we as the audience weren't supposed to hear, and they were going to reveal at the end of the movie, and they never did. Fucking the second time I watched she just yells, "Blow me," and I'm like, why'd they take that out? Or at least replace it.
And luckily that reveal didn't happen.
Luckily. Well, anyway, that was it's absurd to me what they decide to cut out and keep it. I don't know. Censorship's just very strange. And then, I think I mentioned the title track, and then I had a note, some decent and vibey production design. So
yeah, agree. Okay, this is Critical Mess. We're talking Resident Evil, the 2002 version, keeping with our horror month. We are sponsored tonight by Pacifico, in a can, Johnny D something.
Thank you so much, Johnny D something.
I'm just gonna Johnny D. It should just be called Johnny D. That's what we're calling it from now on.
Okay.
Johnny D.
I'm gonna keep calling it Johnny Drum, but
Johnny D, the private stock, the rare shit. And Blade and Bow. Now serving. What do they serve? Ceviche,
prime rib, and shrimp cocktail.
Something pretentious. They're serving.
Bone marrow.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, it's on their specials for sure.
It's like Tibetan. Llama marrow.
Tibetan greens with a
Himalayan salts.
Bone marrow.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Anyways, we love our sponsors, and that's why we keep bringing them up. I think the thing we talk about next here is themes. We talk themes. Guys, did you pick up on a theme in this movie? I didn't think it was too hard to...
It's pretty heavy-handed.
Hard to glean.
Yeah. Corporations being above the law and destroying the environment and killing people.
Capitalism bad.
For profit. Yep.
And what's better than a evil world-ending corporation than calling it Umbrella? And then
for
that
sure.
iconic logo, that great logo.
Yeah, what do we think of Umbrella's branding? Good brand?
Brilliant.
Solid brand?
As the resident creative, I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
As the resident evil creative.
Yeah.
That was cool.
Yeah. So yeah, not too deep on that one. Obviously, if we end up in a situation where one company controls all the healthcare and the, groceries and literally everything in our lives, then that is the end. That's the bitter end of capitalism. Yeah. When the zombies come.
Yeah.
How far are we from that is the question.
18 months.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Tops.
Yeah. I hope you're wrong,
If
but
Bezos
might be
has
right.
his way.
Do we want to briefly touch on arcs? Do we think there were any decent arcs in this movie?
I thought Alice had a good arc. I loved seeing her sort of discover who she is. I liked how she
we were
was,
on that journey with her,
Right.
and that was kind of a nice plot device. It's not an uncommon one, but it works.
Yeah, it worked for me. I loved. I just thought she played that really well. Just like sort of figuring out what was happening, and she starts discovering her skills, kind of like Neo on the Matrix.
No, I actually.
I'm only going to reference Matrix now, just to spite you.
I'll give great credit to that. I thought her confusion in those moments, and then the quick little flashbang style thought bubble where it just kind of cut scenes to whatever that blurry whiteness kind of So kind of piecing that together and then playing through her character as you're watching the movie.
Yeah.
I thought that was really well done, actually.
And it's kind of an interesting arc because she doesn't really change. I mean, the movie takes place in like a 24-hour, time, but it's like what changes is sort of her view of herself and her sort of discovering herself. So I think that's kind of a unique. I mean, like you said, it's been done before, but I thought it was a solid arc, and that's really the only one I can point to here. A movie like this is not going to have tons of, arcing stuff. I mean, it's
like you said, it's a very short period of time.
It's a short period of time. How you? I mean, other than Groundhog Day, I mean, how do you do something in 24 hours? That's a super significant arc. So I think they did what they could, and they did a good job with it.
All right. Now it can only be time for one thing. We're going to go to a place. It's a special place. It's a place we all know and love. And that place is called Brian's Corner.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Brian's Corner. I'd like to talk about the zombie genre real quick here. I'd like us to maybe just quickly rank. I know there are a million zombie movies. If you look at Wikipedia and you look at list of zombie movies, I mean, it goes all the way back to the silent era. And there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds listed on there. Obviously, I haven't seen them all. I think most people haven't seen them all or heard of many of them. But I did pick out sort of 8 pretty notable zombie movies. And I know there are other ones on here, but this is Brian's Corner. These are the ones Brian's seen. So I'd like for us to just quickly go through and rank these. Where do we think these sit? I'll just read them in a chronological order of release date. I'll read it, and you just kind of slot it where you think it goes. I don't need a number. Just tell me how good it is. Right? Night of the Living Dead.
Well, wait, I'm confused now.
So
can we just give it a fast rating?
Yeah, just give me a rating. Just
for
instance,
out of 10. Let's just do an out of 10.
When I get to this movie, Resident Evil, you'll tell me, oh, that's not good or that's good, whatever.
Yeah, I would have been like top, middle, bottom of the barrel.
I'm not trying to make.
I'm going to give it out of 10. I'm just going to go with my gut.
I love it. Hey, I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to make you guys do that, but hey,
I was ready to go,
let's
Brian.
do it. Night of the Living Dead.
10.
9.
Yep. And don't be ashamed to say you haven't seen it, but I think we've all seen all these. I'll probably go 9 on that one. 28 Days Later.
10.
10.
Ooh, 10. Yep.
Resident Evil. Wait, that's our current movie. I guess I was thinking originally we would sort of rank these.
83.
But
Yeah, that's all right. Well, I guess I would go to round up to go at 7.
5. 4. Shaun of the Dead.
7.
6.
That hurts my heart.
Sorry, guys.
I'm going to go at least an 8 on that one.
Mm.
It's the best Edgar Wright.
Yeah.
It's the best Edgar Wright movie, in my opinion. I Am Legend.
Oh man, I have a hard time with that movie just because he has to kill that dog at the end. He has to kill that German Shepherd.
And
I
the
can't
German
watch. I can't
Shepherd,
watch
too.
that movie anymore.
I mean, that dog looks a lot like your dog.
Yep.
Yeah,
Very.
that is just so rough. Yeah, but it was a pretty, and so I've only seen it that one time in the theater. That notwithstanding, I'd give it like a 7.
Yeah, 7 for sure.
I love that movie. I'm going to give it an 8.
Ooh.
Zombieland.
That one's fun. I go 8.
6.
7. World War Z.
6.
4.
3.
Ouch.
This one,
Play along, people listening along.
this one, this is the only one on here that I'm not sure we've all seen. Train to Busan.
Yeah, I've seen it. You know what? Everyone loved that movie, and I just completely forgot it the moment I watched it. It was just like total, just like a candy bar. You know, it was fun, I guess, but I don't remember a thing about it. So I guess I'll give it like a 7.
Have you not seen it?
Haven't seen it.
It's a Korean. South
Yeah,
Korean movie?
I believe it's Korean. I believe that's right.
I'm gonna give it I think I rated it a 3.5 out of 5 when I first watched it, so I'll give it a 7.
There's a sequel too, right? Isn't there?
I'm not sure.
That I feel like I saw too, and I just don't remember anything about it. So yes.
Finally, Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead.
8 out of 10. I really enjoyed that. It was fun, and it knew what it was. I think so.
I'm also giving that a 7.
1. Fuck that movie. All right.
I was waiting.
Wait. We got to also throw in the Zack Snyder Dawn of the Dead.
Well, I mean, no, we don't, because it's Brian's corner. And
okay.
You know what? Okay, fine.
To
Yes.
give my rating on that movie.
Listen, Nick, let me give some rationale real quick. I was trying to limit this list because I was initially thinking we were going to like sort like these are 8 movies. Let's put them in order, and I didn't want to overwhelm us. So there was some. So let's go ahead and add that since we're just ranking.
I'm sorry, I only have to bring it up because I just love that movie so much. And I'm giving it a 9. Obviously, I'm giving it a.
It's also a remake.
Yeah, it's a remake. So, but I love that movie.
It's the one in the mall, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think I'm right at probably like a 5 on that one.
Ooh man, I go with an 8 too. I love that one.
Maybe a 6.
That movie has one of the best intros with the little girl, little zombie girl, just attacking that couple in the bed like that, and just the way the TV is just on the emergency. I fucking love that movie.
I just love
everything's right about it.
I just vaguely remember the dad from Modern Family being like the big perv.
Oh yeah, he's
sexist.
hilarious. He's so funny.
So funny.
And you know the only reason I'm digressing here, but
the
only reason that movie is not getting a 10 out of 10 is because of that fucking zombie baby. I hated that zombie baby. I hated that whole subplot, that whole C story or whatever it was with the was it who's the actor? Was it Taye Diggs? Is that who it was?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. Zombie baby.
I'm loving it. I'm loving being over here in Brian's corner. I got a little glow about me just watching conversations arise from the likes of Brian's corner. Brian's corner is a second part tonight.
Oh yeah,
quicker than the first part. I want us to rank the following 2000s era female action stars.
Okay.
And we're actually going to rank these. Okay. We're not going to give it out of 10. I've got 5 on the list here. Okay. And these are all kind of similar. You know, you'll see what I mean when I read them off. So I'll read the 5. And then I want us to rank them. So we got Mila Jovovich, Kate Beckinsale. She's in the Underworld stuff. Angelina Jolie, Tomb Raider, a million other things. Charlize Theron, notably, what was she in? Not Ultraviolet, but Aeon Flux, stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, right.
And then Uma Thurman, Kill Bill stuff.
So to be clear, who we like to look at the most or who we think is the best actress?
So I'm leaving that up. I was gonna specify, but I'm just gonna
blended
leave that
score.
All right, who's the hottest? Sure. Who's the hottest? Let's be honest.
Well, because that definitely changes my score.
This is a movie podcast, guys. Don't forget. Okay,
I'm going
just quick. Give me.
We're talking about actresses.
Rank them in 5, yeah. Because I'm sorry, but Mila, she's beautiful, and that's kind of inspired this little list of 5.
I know. I kind of need to see the list. I feel
also in Fifth Element,
but I've
like.
Okay,
well,
great.
I mean,
great. There it is.
That's the gold standard.
So okay, here,
she's amazing as Lilu.
Oh yeah.
Here we go. Beckinsale 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to tell you guys that's an easy one. I'm going. Oh gosh, I'm probably going Charlize Theron too. She just seems really cool. She seems just like a cool person.
There's a Hot Ones episode with her. And she's pretty awesome.
I saw that.
Yeah.
She's also funny on. Isn't she on a Between Two Ferns? That's quite.
She
funny.
seems like she'd be awesome to hang out with in real life. She probably watches football.
Does. She probably does. Yeah, she seems cool.
Fun to hang.
Then I'm going Mila. Then I'm going Angelina, and then Uma just doesn't really do it for me. But I'm sure she seems nice though. Seems like another nice person. But yeah, not my favorite.
All right, let's see this list. All right, we're going to definitely go.
Can you not remember 5?
Kate
people?
Beckinsale for sure, and then Mila, Charlize, Angela, and then Uma at the bottom. Just right off the bat.
I gotta say, personality is a physical attribute, and more than we think it is. And so I'm just gonna say last is Angelina Jolie.
It's just not true.
It is so true. Have you? Hey, man, that is so true. Haven't you ever met somebody and they've just and you've gone, oh, and then like you actually get to know them and they're like physically less attractive? Is that not?
Yes.
No, well, of course, but that's because of their personality. Not because of a physical characteristic.
You said physical first.
No, my point is that personality can actually have an effect on physical beauty of somebody.
Absolutely. I thought you were saying the opposite.
No.
Sorry.
I think you said that personality is a physical trait. That was your quote.
That's what
but I understand.
I stand by that.
We understand what you're
Now I
saying.
understand what you were saying.
I stand by that.
Okay.
And so my point in saying that was Angelina Jolie is 9th on this list of 5. Number 1 would be Mila. Lilu, Fifth Element. You can't ever beat that. 2, Charlize Theron. 3, Kate. 4, Uma. 5, Angelina. So there you go. Thank you guys. We all had different lists, didn't we? Or did you just copy off of Nick's list?
No, I did different.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tune in for next week when we're going to rank the 5 hottest guys in horror.
Well, what's
Keanu Reeves in Matrix?
Number 1. Keanu Reeves in Matrix.
Keanu Reeves and he was in a horror movie, right? He's in a couple.
He's been
I was going to say Batman.
Constantine.
Dracula.
Dracula. Yeah.
Yeah, Dracula.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, thanks for joining me in Brian's Corner.
All right, we had fun. Thank you, Ben. All right, this is Critical Mess. Pacifico, Blade and Bow, Johnny D. As we move to our next segment, I think is it time? I think it's time. I think it's time for the whole reason people listen to this show, which is our legendary, unmistakably brilliant, and sometimes differently titled segment. Crossfire. This is Brian's favorite title.
Crossfire.
Crossfire.
Slow fire. Hot fire.
I need to get Crossfire sound effect.
Hot take.
Crossfire. Yeah,
What was this even originally called? Rapid
fire.
Rapid fire. Okay, and it's now
fast paced, quick answers, short.
Right.
I like how we've even so slow burned this that we belabor just even the name of it. We can't even get into it.
I know. You see what I'm doing here?
Oh, you were doing this.
I'm doing a bit.
He got it.
Oh, shit.
Nice.
Got him.
It's a slow burn.
Can you hit me with the sound effect there?
It's
Nah.
that was perfect. Perfect.
Need to work on your pad.
Wait. Oh, I knew it.
All right. We're going to slow burn it down here, and let's just start. Let's just start. Let's start right now. Okay, so let's start with the start. There's a fucking typo in the opening monologue. Can we talk about that? Or I guess I shouldn't call it a monologue. The monologue that's on screen, the words are on screen as the guy's reading it, which is also like, it's on screen, the closed captioning is on, the guy's reading it to me. It's like I don't need it all. I can get the text. That's so don't treat me like I'm 5. Anyway, there's a fucking typo. It says Umbrella is a leading supplier of healthcare. And healthcare is one word.
Oh.
Healthcare should be 2 words because it's not describing another word as an adjective.
You sound like you work at an ad agency that just launched a hospital website.
I plead the 5th.
Because I don't think anybody else would have noticed that.
Oh, you're right. Anyways, people, come on, get it right. Healthcare benefits, 1 word. We have great healthcare, 2 words. I'm done.
I mean, it's the opening text. At least
I know. At least run it by a fucking proofreader. You spent $40 million on this. Can you spend $10 on a proofreader?
Resident Evil.
Ridiculous. Okay, we covered the R-rated thing. I think that was an important point to bring up, though. Respect the shit out of that. So, important that Brian brought that up. Okay, let's talk about the elevator kill. At the beginning of the movie, just the whole kind of tense situation in the elevator. I thought was quite good. It was quite tense. You really didn't know what was going to happen. They really they jerked you around a little bit, quite literally jerked that poor lady around. And it was such a relief when it stops right before it's about to chop her head off.
Once again, guys, I thought the AMC made-for-TV version I watched originally didn't show that. And the next time I was watching, I'm like, oh, we're actually going to see her get decapitated. And we didn't, which I was glad we didn't. But anyway, that was one of their, I was like, oh, they probably cut that.
Yeah, I mean, they picked their decaps, wisely in this movie, I think.
Best elevator scene. This,
Ooh.
Speed, Mission Impossible.
Ooh, probably Speed.
Yeah, I go Speed. Speed for sure.
Speed for sure.
Better kill. This elevator door decapitation or Emilio Estevez hitting the spikes?
Emilio Estevez.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Crossfire.
I can't disassociate Mila Kunis from The Fifth Element.
Wait,
I feel like...
Do you mean Mila Jovovich?
Good Lord, yes. Sorry.
No,
Mila
I can't
Jovovich.
either.
They have the same first name, damn it. Just like our Kirk Douglas moment.
Nick, Mila has 2 L's, and the other Mila has 1 L, Mr. Healthcare. No, you're right. How many Milas do you know? 2.
Anyway. Yeah, and they're both attractive young ladies.
One of them is you can't dissociate from that 70s show, and the other one you can't dissociate from the Fifth Element. They're both like emblazoned on that. To me, she is the Fifth Element, and that's it. Like it's hard to. She even had the same hair color and style and everything. Is that your point?
That is interesting to me because I actually do separate them from that movie to this. I don't know why. I can't pinpoint what it is.
Yeah, it's just there's a lot of over, and plus she's like even just like she's like barely wearing like a white.
I had a comment on
Right.
that. I might as well just say it. Is it in Mila Jovovich's contract that she has to awaken on an observation table covered in small strips of white cloth?
Yeah, it seems like it. Anyways, I just thought she was going to start doing that gobbledygook language, in this movie just all the time. Because I just can't, I just so associate her with that movie. That is what I associate her with by far and away more than anything else. So
it's a great movie.
Anyways,
Mila
Jovovich, not the other Mila.
Is it Vitch or Vic? I don't know. It's Ukrainian.
I don't know. Man, I'll say this is a subtle detail, but how cool is that in the beginning when they pulled out that drawer and it just in that glass case with the MP5, that old school MP5 with that that keypad on it. That was sick.
Cool drawer.
Yeah, really cool drawer.
I need a drawer like that.
I want a drawer like that.
Yeah.
I'll make you one.
Okay.
It seems like, I know we're dwelling on this a little bit, but, Mila, Brian, you think she's a very attractive woman, but she seems to be super attractive specifically to, and don't take this the wrong way, the dorks, right? She's like kind of a dork queen, like all the kind of the nerd guys really like her for some reason.
Really?
And I can't, for sure.
Well, she was in a bunch of Resident
she was in a
Evil
bunch of
video
nerd
game movies, and then she was also in Fifth Element, which is a cult classic for nerds.
But she seems like especially beloved by that group, and that's obviously a huge part of it. But is there anything more to it? Does she have like almost like weirdly attainable and like a weird? She looks a little bit like an elf, a little bit of an elf thing going on.
I think you just don't see it because she was a fashion model before she ever acted, and she's been on the cover of like 50+ magazine.
No. She's absolutely stunningly gorgeous.
Beautiful.
Yeah, I get that, but especially among the nerd, like the nerd crowd doesn't feel that way about Charlize Theron, or the other people, the other ladies you talked about earlier.
All those 5 ladies are the same with the exception of Uma. I threw Uma in to round us out to 5, but those 4, to me, they're all like almost the same.
Okay, well, that's fair. It's all perception. I don't know.
Yeah,
it just seems in my experience she was just very vaunted amongst
Maybe you're right.
the nerds.
Maybe right.
So, anyway.
I am a nerd, so. Yeah. Well,
and as am I, for the record.
I am not, for the record.
We know.
I'm not
you're a
nerds.
Cool dude. You like played sports and stuff.
Actually not.
I thought this is such a small thing, but I'm going to say it because it's something that I totally always remember from this movie that I just thought was so cool. I love when the train in the station is pulling away for the first time, and they're all on the train, and that last guy's like walking alongside the train.
Yes.
He's just like that
just
last
steps
dude,
on.
and he's just like, he's just like one
He's
little wrong step.
patrolling.
That guy's toast. He's going to be, he's done. But he was just doing that last little patrol, just making sure everybody's good. And he just jumped on that moving train. I was like, that was just a cool move.
Great look. I like how you noticed that too.
Yeah, it was just a really tiny thing, but I always thought that was just a cool,
What about all
cool
of their
move.
badges on their arm say sanitation?
I
You guys
noticed
catch
that.
that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that was a cool touch.
Can I ask a rapid fire?
Yeah.
Why is Michelle Rodriguez so mad at the world? Was her family murdered?
She just smelled a fart, man. We are.
I mean, but that's more of an annoyance.
No, I know. But wouldn't that make you mad at the world?
It's like every movie she's in, she's so mad and angry, and she's like the protagonist. Like, she needs to just be a villain. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of it's just her thing. It's her
sorry.
I mean, like in all the Fast and Furious, she's
Fury.
like this same character.
I challenge the group to name one likable performance of hers ever.
She was a villain in one of those Fast movies. She got amnesia and forgot and became part of the bad guys.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, can't do it, Brian.
No,
I know we already talked about her, but I just saw her again, and I saw her eye condition, and I can't abide.
We just got to point out that, I caught this on the Wikipedia page, but James Cameron says that Resident Evil is his favorite guilty pleasure film.
I choose not to believe that.
I would agree with that.
The boss, the Don, the king, loves this movie, and I think that's an important thing to point
Maybe
out.
he loves Mila Jovovich, and he's a nerd.
I wouldn't put it past him.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it
He
past
did build something to go to the bottom of the ocean.
He did. Yeah, he's a maniac.
Yeah.
I thought this movie was weirdly super topical. It had such a focus on AI 20 years ago, and AI killing us all, and
Well, you know what came out 3 years before this? The Matrix.
What?
That's 5.
Well, you know what came out way before that? Fucking Terminator.
I think this is riding on the coattails of that AI. Yeah, okay. I know AI has come out before. I got to get my quota of 7 references.
Oh, gosh. We got to get that soundbite.
He's getting paid by Big Matrix over here.
Too much walking around pointing guns at nothing. That should have been in my flip the script. But a lot of very serious gun movements, looking around corners, and not a lot of payoff.
The guns don't react the way the guns should.
What do you mean?
Like the way they hold them, and the way that they, like, when they fire them, they don't move.
Oh yeah, right.
Like,
there's no
they have no
kickback on 'em.
recoil.
Right, there's no recoil. There's no nothing.
Have you ever shot a fully automatic?
And they're all like mini Uzis.
You cannot keep it straight.
Right.
No matter how much
power
you put into it, you're going up with both hands.
And they're holding it with one hand.
And they're so small. And
They never run out of ammo.
Right.
But
there's
movies rarely do guns right.
Yeah. It's like The Mummy. Man.
Oh, did they never run out of ammo?
Never run out of
shooters.
Not
They
once.
have 15 shots in a 6-shooter.
Don't ruin The Mummy for me.
How about this? All the guys in this movie look exactly the fucking same, do they not?
Mm-hmm.
They're all the same age. They all have the same stupid haircut, except for Jesselnick. He's got like a little bit more of a mushroom cloud going on. They're all fit, They're all wearing the same fucking uniform.
There's 3 guys in particular that I could not tell apart half the time. The second time I watched it, I finally started to understand them. But her fake husband thing, Kaplan,
Yep.
And then the other guy, I don't even know if they say his name, but he's the guy that like finally opens the door with a code. He's like,
"Oh,
see,
yeah.
that was easy." And then he gets like
JD.
Yeah, JD. So all 3 of those guys were like the exact same person to me.
Yeah.
And they were all wearing Casio G-Shocks, DW 6900s. Every one of them.
So,
you
Grizz,
believe that?
I was going to bring that actually up.
Remember when you said you
And
were
we had
a
a couple
dork?
close-ups on those watches. I mean, I'm starting to think Casio had a massive 90s and 2000s.
Grizz, did you
ad
get this
spend.
movie in '82 just because they're fucking wearing Casio watches?
Absolutely.
Oh my god.
They got at least
you
60
said you
points
weren't
on my
a
rate.
dork.
So wait,
Yeah.
when Rodriguez gives the watch at the very end to
Oh, with the timer on it?
Jovovich, what because that watch gets a
ton.
gigantic, gets the whole frame
Yeah.
for
It's
a
the,
second
it's the
there.
countdown. Yeah.
Yeah, what is that?
It's
What
some
was that watch?
variation of an all blacked out Casio G-Shock DW 6900. So you're
Nice.
welcome. Look it
Yeah.
up. Go grab you one.
I knew you would know.
It had a bunch of screen time, weirdly. So,
It did.
Yeah,
It did.
I had to call it
They
out.
probably paid for that.
Can I ask my last rapid fire?
Please.
So Rain is Michelle Rodriguez's character's name. So you remember she's like dying and getting like helped like through the hall
Yes.
on the doorstep of death in the sewers, bleeding out. This is her piece of dialogue. When I get out of here, I think I'm going to get laid. So like That's what you're thinking about right now? As a woman who's dying in a sewer.
Well, her first line was "blow me."
Was this written by a 15-year-old? Sorry, were you trying to show me something just now, Ben? Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's finding the price on those G-Shocks. $84. Come on, guys.
Anyway, that's that.
She was very sexual. She was a sexual character.
In what other way? In
her first line was "blow me."
I don't think she was saying that in a sexual way. I think she was saying that as in a trashy, like, just like fuck you type.
What about
you know what I mean?
When she's right before she turns into a zombie and she goes, "I could kiss you, you bitch." What about that?
She didn't say.
Yeah,
she does.
She says, "I could kiss you."
You guys
bitch.
are stretching here. There's nothing sexy about her.
No,
she's like
it was character building.
Yeah, perfect character.
It was part of her
right
character.
And they had
really
like she
She
fell
was horny.
asleep and then she popped up and yeah.
I did not get that.
She horny AF.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess I believe you.
We just kind of talked about him a second ago, but I thought another really strong, quick scene in this film was JD getting mauled by the zombie gang.
Mm-hmm.
Just pulled into that room or whatever, and just mauled.
That was a good scene. Like the hands on his face, kind of pulling him back. It was probably a fun scene.
And an earned jump scare.
Let's be real. That's got to be used in almost every zombie movie, and it never gets old for me. Like just watching somebody get ripped apart by a bunch of zombies in a crowded room. That's classic zombie.
Okay.
Yeah, that's classic zombie.
Here's another one. Why the fuck is everyone kicking dogs in these video game movies? My God.
Well, these are zombie dogs, so
I
calm
guess.
down,
But
okay?
we've got Mario kicking that nice dog in the house.
That's true.
From our 2 podcasts. Was that 2 podcasts ago? It was a couple podcasts.
Check it out. Available
Mario.
everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't mind a dog getting kicked because I frequently want to kick every dog I see. I mean, I'm sorry if I sound callous, but every time a dog barks at me, I literally want to kick it in the face.
Nick?
You can put that on my tombstone. I love Harry. I have never wanted to kick Harry. Harry's a good dog. I'm talking about the dumb, annoying dogs like on Super Mario Bros. Who come up and like cause havoc and like I think I'm gonna die. Yeah, I'm gonna kick you.
Well, yes, you're being attacked by a dog.
Just like the dogs in this movie. The dogs
if I'm
are
being
all
attacked by a zombie dog,
killing
I'm
you.
sorry, but granted, I'm going to kick it.
And to be clear, I was just trying to get a rise out of the room. But it doesn't change the fact that we had a couple of dog kickers in these movies.
Hey,
Okay.
I gotta say, I'm a dog kicker.
I'm a dog kicker.
Couple of dog kickers.
Oh my gosh, PETA, just have a talk with this guy.
The vegan over here. Oh, we want to go there. We
That
want
is
to
a
talk
good
about
point.
animals.
Yeah,
here?
touche.
Got you there.
The dog kicking meat hater. You need a T-shirt that says that.
I'd wear it.
Goodness gracious.
Only the annoying dogs.
How the fuck did we get here? How did we get
Rapid fire.
Anyway. Okay. Here's something I think we need to touch on real quick, and this is something that the movie did really well, I thought. Good twists. Good twists in this movie. A couple of big twists that were unexpected. Obviously, the big one at the end was the whatever.
Their memories kick in at the same time, and you realize he's like the villain, and she. Yeah,
exactly.
I thought that was really good.
Exactly, that was a good.
And they both go for the gun at the same time, and there's the.
Yep. That was I. The first time I saw that, I'm sure I didn't see that coming. Yeah. There were some other good twists throughout. The other one that jumps to mind is when they decide to turn the queen back on. The whole point was turn the queen off.
And that was quick. That was a quick choice. They didn't even get past a couple, like a
well, they
room.
didn't, there was really like nothing else they could do. They were kind of like sealed in the room. But anyways, it's just like that's a good turn there. But the whole point was to get the queen turned off. But now you got to turn the queen back on, and you need the queen's help.
Well, it's cool because you didn't just have like the good guys and the bad guys. You had like the people trying to survive. Then you had all the zombies. Then you also had like this mutant creature thing that was out to kill everyone. And then you had the AI. So there was like, they kind of played around with those different elements a little bit.
And the
I
AI was pretty, I mean, all creepy, right? But pretty neutral.
Yeah.
Pretty neutral.
I didn't hate the AI. I think the AI was doing what it was supposed to do.
Yeah, trying to do its job.
Yep.
Did they mention in there it was the daughter of the old, or something like that?
The head programmer.
Yeah, that's right. I loved that. I thought that was a little creepy. And I liked how they blended that well with the practical effects. So,
yeah.
Little thing, but in the final showdown, convenient, there's just a trap door in the bottom of the train to just drop the monster out. Like, why else?
What's the purpose of that giant trap door that goes to the bottom?
And there's just a big ass lever. Just like, don't
wrong
pull.
lever. Wrong lever.
I believe they did.
It's like, is this designed by Acme? Like, what the fuck?
It did say Acme on the front of it. Yeah.
Wile E. Coyote.
To their credit, they did set that up in the beginning when they're going on the train to get to the hive, and Rain goes down there, and then the guy like jump scares her as one of the false jump scares. Remember, he's like jumpy. She's like she's down in the
right. She needs
like
to repair
something.
it. To repair it. So it's like easy access, I guess.
Sure.
But
at the very least, Chekhov's gun was actually used. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah, at the very least, there shouldn't be a gigantic lever that literally drops the floor out of the whole fucking car.
Did you like how that lever was pushed?
How did that even happen?
Remember
again?
how she turns and then she gets the headshot and she hits it.
Yeah, that was fun.
Clever.
That was fun.
I liked it. I liked it because she died and I was ready for her to die. Michelle Rodriguez.
Okay. All right. Raccoon or raccoon?
Should be raccoon.
Raccoon.
This is on my list of words that could be pronounced differently.
What is it for you?
Raccoon.
Yeah, raccoon. These dopes say raccoon in the movie.
They're obviously not from the Midwest.
Who says raccoon?
A raccoon.
Cool,
Raccoon.
Is that a Pokemon?
Yeah, right?
I like the name of the city, though. Raccoon City. That's kind of cool.
Oh, that's great.
I don't know how much more I have. Maybe another thing or two. I guess I would say overall, for a conglomerate that literally runs the world,
They
from
really
like
want to
this
destroy it.
base. Well, yeah. That was set up, I guess, kind of like why they have. I mean, it was stupid, but it was like it's worth so much money. It's a biological weapon, but man, their security was pretty whack for the top corporation in the world that runs everything.
They got one hallway.
The lasers. And this jackass, right? Yeah, there's just right. And the jackass, this guy from the start of the movie who just lives in this mansion on the property, just waltzes right in there and steals the most virulent, dangerous biological weapon ever created, and just walks out with it in his little book bag.
I mean, Kaplan can hack most everything there.
Right.
From sanitation.
Well, and I mean, yes, overall the security was terrible, but then at other times it was like way too high tech for just this one little spot. And you're just like, well, why is there so much security there? Like, there's a camera everywhere in the elevator,
and the AI
in the
system
lab
that they cut to all the time.
The hadron or the how whatever chemical that was that they sprayed in that killed everybody. I mean, there was definitely security measures. I just think they were implemented incorrectly. And like the big doors shut 2 hours. It's like, all right, some shit goes down. Let's make sure we seal up the place in 2 hours. Not right away. So it was inconsistent security.
So let's break it down real quick this way. So Apple's market capitalization is what, $3 trillion, about $3 trillion.
Mm-hmm.
So this company runs everything, basically, 9 out of 10 things. So let's estimate their market cap at, I don't know, $200 trillion.
Yeah, I was going to say a couple orders of magnitude more. Yeah,
similar to
$500 trillion.
Sure. Big
I don't
and
know.
large in Wall-E, probably.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Could we find like a trill for security, like to just work out the kinks? Maybe the right people in the right stations. Maybe the right.
Well, then there's no plot.
There's no plot.
Then they'd have to get clever. We wouldn't want that.
Ooh, God forbid.
Wow. I'm digging too deep here. Anyways, bad security at the Umbrella Corp. All right, and I will say one thing. This is kind of my final thought, which was appropriate because it was kind of the last thing in the movie. I thought the last 2 minutes was really cool and a nice finish, for a lot of reasons. But I thought I was genuinely disappointed. I didn't get any in the city action after kind of that apocalyptic event, and it was just she's standing there, and we can see it's a shit show. Game over. I get you can't just start doing that then, but at no point I thought I wanted to see the zombie action in the city, just probably because I played Resident Evil 2, and that's what I was familiar with. But yeah, I was just a little disappointed, but it was a great ending at the same time.
Yeah, I agree. Good ending. I think they were setting it up for the second movie, and just like the game. So,
do you think they actually had a second movie in the mindset? Like, I know that they they may have, but do you think they already had like a green light or like a pretty good yes answer from the studio to be like, yeah, we're going to make another one, so go ahead and make this a cliffhanger?
I don't think so, and that's why that's why I credit the rated R. And again, even with movies like Super Mario Bros, they don't have green lights before they come out necessarily.
Yeah, right.
Unless it's like a multi-part deal. Like
Very rarely do I see like
Dune's
a couple weeks
two-parter.
before it comes out, you'll see it get greenlit for another movie,
But-
like Dune.
Right. Yeah. Well, they can tell with test screens and stuff like that, and audience tests that it's going to be successful before it comes out. But it's not going to be greenlit till it is. And I'll also answer that question with this: this movie, just like every other video game movie that's ever come out, is made with franchise in mind. I mean, that is the main reason, because they are just cash grabs. I mean, they're coming out there. They know they have the built-in audience. They're going to make the movie. They want to make 10 of them if they can. With this one, because it made 2.5 times its bang for its buck, they made 10 of them, and they're still going. So, I mean, let's be honest. That's the world we live in. It's a video game movie. Yeah, sequel. Please, sequel.
All right, this has been Crossfire. Thank you for listening. I think we did pretty well.
You seem exhausted.
We covered a lot of ground. Okay, that concludes our list of segments, except for the outro here. So, I think we should give some final thoughts on this movie, guys.
My final thought is this: if Jurassic Park and Event Horizon had a degenerate love child, it would be Resident Evil.
Brian, who loves combo movie comparisons. I just liked it. I don't know if it's a guilty pleasure. I just thought it was a very lean movie. Having watched it 20 years later, I think it holds up. CG is a little rough. Acting's rough in a couple spots, but I think overall it was very efficient. Pretty solid flick.
Now you do remember what I said about movie combos, right? Just for the record.
You love them and you use them a lot? I don't know.
I said it's usually a bad sign if a movie is described as being a combination between two movies. So this holds true.
It's a bad sign.
44?
Just putting that out there. Yeah, 44 was my rating.
I don't agree with you for the record. I think it's nice when you can take that little shortcut to describe a film. But I could see why you would say that.
If the first way you describe a movie is that way.
Sure.
It's typically bad.
Sure. But it's a good way to pitch a movie, I guess I would say.
Totally.
So I guess that's a little bit of a difference. So I'm saying.
Hey, Grizz, I got to say, man, what'd you give this, an 82?
83.
I didn't hear a lot to back that up tonight. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but
I don't need to. Go see it.
Oh. Well, I was trying to set you up for final thoughts there, like if you wanted to just sort of...
Let's hear it, Grizz.
No,
make your case.
I don't know. I just think it was outrageously enjoyable. It was super short and sweet. I thought the suspense was good. Acting was good enough by the primary characters, the top 2-3 guys. Most of the team, the sanitation team was forgettable, but they were almost all dead by 30 minutes in. Acting by Mila was pretty solid. And then I thought the buildup was great. Like slowly but surely, as they worked their way through the hive, they kind of got a little bit more suspense and a little bit more suspense. And I think it built to a great cliffhanger at the end of just them getting out, or she gets out, and then you see him get carried off to likely a second level style experimentation. And then you see Raccoon City in somewhat, what was it, just one street and a couple buildings. I think they kind of zoomed out in a creative way. But I loved that little cliffhanger at the end.
Was this the highest that you've rated a movie of the 19 episodes?
Probably, yeah.
So of the 19 movies we've done, this is the best one.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I feel like you rated... I can't say what it was.
Would you give Hook?
We should probably keep track of this.
Oh, I may have put
probably
Hook up
should.
there in the 90s for
Okay.
yeah. But I don't know.
Yeah, I'm genuinely curious. I can't remember.
It's going to be hard for me unless it's like a super good guilty pleasure that I liked some of these movies, that we find one that has this crazy audience swing.
We should keep a
we should have a
spreadsheet so we
of
can
that,
see like trends,
Yeah.
Or write them in our list. Yeah.
All right, I think this movie is underappreciated. I think it's a fun movie. I don't think it's a great movie. I think it's got some technical problems, obviously, we've talked about. Something we didn't talk about much, and we don't really need to talk about now, but I thought it had some storytelling problems too, that just, I thought there was kind of a lot of standing around talking and some kind of a lot of unnecessary exposition, which, if that wasn't there, I would have given this a higher score, but I think it's definitely worth watching. Definitely one of the better video game movies ever made. And And yeah, I'd say if you even have a cursory interest in this movie, you may as well watch it. It's worth the time. Okay. So this is the point of the show where we threaten to do another episode. So we are going to do that, and I believe we decided the next episode is going to be maybe a different kind of horror. Snakes on a plane.
20th
Snakes
episode
on a plane.
High critic, low audience. We're flipping it up.
That's right. This one is going to have a high critic, low audience score, which, once again, that just seems off.
Hey, I haven't seen
that movie.
It threw me off.
This is two movies in a row I've never seen, so
Yeah,
I'm at least expanding my letterbox.
I've not seen it either.
Number.
So I'm excited.
Cool.
So we are on social media, whatever that is, at Instagram.com.
Find us on the World Wide Web.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everyone,
www.instagram.com/
at Critical Mess Crew on Instagram.
That's what it is.
There
At
you
Critical Mess Crew on Instagram if you want to follow us in all of our wild antics.
And please leave us a rating and or write us a letter in the mail and let us know if you've played the game. We're curious how faithful is this movie to the game. Let us know or rate us.
I would love a handwritten letter.
Yeah.
Handwritten letter to our PO box would be great.
Give us something.
If someone sends us a
feedback.
handwritten letter, I will personally pay to frame it and put it up in our
Studio.
soon to become podcast studio.
As soon as we're on YouTube, it's going to be literally part of our set.
Yeah.
By the way, and also we will read it aloud on air.
Like our first dollar bill at our convenience store.
Like you can almost write anything in it. There's only a few things we wouldn't read, but
yes, get those reviews on either
I'd say
Apple
there's very
Podcast.
little we wouldn't read.
yeah, very little.
I mean, if it just says you're 3 hopeless fucks, I think we'd still frame it.
Yeah, but we're not going to read anything that like gets us canceled. Like
No.
that's the kind of thing.
No.
Anything else, we'll read.
No. Well, Brian, you did say you're kicking dogs, so I think we're already canceled. Yes.
I stand by that.
Timed one. He didn't mean that, folks. He only kicks dogs that attack him.
Exactly. Which seems to be most of my interactions with dogs.
Yes, and that's a whole story, different story altogether. But anyways, I'm glad we ended this episode on such a high note. So thank you everybody for listening. If you made it this far, once again, you're a saint, and a gentleman or gentlewoman, and a scholar, and we are so thankful for you, and we cannot wait to talk to you next time.
See ya.
Later.